discussed in the last class, what we have discussed, what topic we have discussed. If you really remember, if you can recollect, what is the topic we have discussed? Legacy classes. Okay. Uh, okay, legacy classes we have discussed. And did we, what are the legacy classes we have? What are all the legacy classes we have? Can you please list out quickly? Can you please list out quickly, fast? Vector, okay, stack. Remaining people, there are 34 students right now in this room. Everybody has to reply, try to reply, everyone, not only the people, students, those who are regularly replying. I'm looking at the students, the new names. Okay, hash, vector, stack, dictionary, hash table, and properties. We have seen 5 legacy classes we have seen. And what is the legacy interface we have seen? Legacy interface. What legacy interface we have seen? But no, vector is a class, no? Enumeration, very good. Exactly. Like iteration in the collection framework, iterator to enumerate your elements, what you have? The interface is, the legacy interface is enumeration. Okay, right? And enumeration you have, and which method will return enumeration type of elements? Which method? I mean, what I am asking is, suppose in the iterator method, in the iterator, you are using iterate. Okay, iterate method you are using. In the same way, to return the enumeration type of elements, what method you are using? What method you have used? Hmm? Elements. Very good. It's a elements method. Elements method return the type of enumeration method, enumeration type of elements, so that I can enumerate those elements. Okay. What are all the 2 methods we have seen in the enumeration? What are the 2 methods we have seen? Has more elements. One more. Has next. No. Has next is the method in iterator, no? Next elements. Next element. Okay. Has more elements. Next element. I'll show you. Not many people are responding. This is iterator. See. See what method you have used to return the elements of type enumerate? Elements method. Elements method returns enumeration type of elements E. Now you have to call the methods. Now you have to call the methods has more elements and next elements on this E. On this E. Okay, understood now? Everybody. Right. Okay, you have to practice. Until unless you practice, you couldn't remember them properly. And did we finish this? Did we finish this dictionary? Did we finish dictionary in the previous class? No. Only 5 legacy classes we have finished. Okay then. Okay, fine. Not an issue. Just listen to this once. Listen to this. This is not. This is a simple class. Okay. And one question before to start this, I just want to ask one question. That is, dictionary is what type of class? Dictionary is what type of class? Of course, it is legacy class. I'm not asking about that. Abstract class. Very good, Avinav. That is, it is an abstract class so that I cannot able to directly instantiate that abstract class. So, which class I am using here? Which class I am using here? Hash table. Okay. So, dictionary, the concrete class of dictionary is hash table. So, through hash table, I can able to implement the methods of dictionary. Is that okay? Is it clear for everybody? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Listen. So as usual, we are using put method to insert the entries into the dictionary. Okay, because dictionary is related to hash table is related to hash map. Yes or no? So everything, the methods are same. They are similar. Okay, understood? No, both all these are taking key value pairs as their entries. So even here also put method you need to use to entry into the to give insert any entry into the what is that dictionary. Okay, and as usual I am using enumeration here. As usual I am using enumeration here. Okay, so that I'm just displaying the entries which I have inserted in the dictionary. And one more method we have is get method. Along with the put method, I have a get method which can take the key as a parameter. So that could you expect? Can you expect the output of this two? First one, at least first one. What is the output of the first one? The value associated with that. Yes or no? The key, the value yes, exactly. And what is the output of this? What is the output of this if I pass 104? Null. Exactly, because I did not insert anything. Yes or no? I did not insert any entry based on the key 104. Yes or no? So that you will be getting null. And if I use is empty, what is going to be written here in this at this statement? Is it is empty? Is it empty? Is the dictionary empty? No, it's not empty. So you will be getting false. And again, I just want to show you what are all the elements we have in the, just a second guys. Okay, what are all the elements in the dictionary right now? Okay, that is what, from here to here, from here to here. Now I want to remove some of the element. I want to remove also takes the parameter as key. Okay, so if I want to remove one or two, what it is going to do? What it is going to do? Hmm. Yeah, try to answer me. If I want to remove one or two, what happens? One or two will be removed and it retrieved and it returned its value and then removed. Okay, it returned its value and then removed. Then again, if I want to get the value of one or two, what is going to happen? It will give you null again. It will give you null again. And what is the size of the dictionary? One. Very good. Exactly. Exactly. So let us confirm our expectations. Let us confirm our expectations by just executing this. Okay. Okay. Why I am getting this just a note is, as I am doing some unchecked or unsafe operations. That is, I am not using any generic here. Did you observe that? See, guys, what did I say? Did you listen? Did you listen? Why I am getting that note? I am doing some unsafe or unchecked operations. It is saying. Okay, why did I get that? Why I am getting that? If you want to see once again, dictionary 1.java uses unchecked or unsafe operations. What are the unsafe operations I have done? That is, I did not use any generic over here. I did not use any generic while creating my dictionary hash table. Yes or no? Did you understand that? So it is just notifying me that if you could use generics, it would be better. If you could use, then the user will understand. Then the user will understand that, okay, now I did not use the generic so far. So if I require, then I can use the generic. The compiler is notifying you that you did not use the generic. That's what it means. Nothing other than that. Okay. Hmm. Just a second. Hmm. So we can check that value in the dictionary. Is it ordered? Is dictionary is ordered? Did I get any order? Let me check your thing. No, it's not ordered. Just like hash table, hash map, it's not an ordered list. Okay. So it is giving in its own order, and the key, and it is giving as the values. Okay. And is it the key value pair is empty? No, it is false. And the keys in dictionary are, let me check what else we have in the code. Let me check that first. Why these many? Hmm. Ouch. Just a second, guys. Let me adjust this so that you can see the code as well as. Ah, now you can check. Ah, here, why did I get the keys? Why did I get the only keys? Can you able to see? Can you able to see? This is the reason actually. Because along with the elements method, I have a keys method. We have keys method, dictionary dot keys, so that it will return the enumeration type of keys. Understood? No, only keys. So it returned the keys, and we can iterate all the keys. Okay, so that I am getting 102 and 101 here. Understood? No, did you understand the difference between elements method and also the keys method? Yes or no? Right? Everybody, I am asking everyone. Yeah, fine. So elements method will return the elements in terms of enumeration, and keys method will return the keys in terms of enumeration. Okay, right. Okay, then I just removed Smita just from the dictionary, and that is it returned, and then it removed. Okay, check the value of the removed key is, that is null. Obviously, 1 or 2 is not there in the dictionary, so you are getting the Now finally the size of the dictionary is 1. Okay, so whenever you want to use anything, you want to use like key value paste, you want to use searches, you want to insert, you want to delete, you based on some keys, then you can go with these hash tables, hash maps, and also dictionaries. Okay, understood now, everyone? Right? Um, Now, what? Sorry. One more. Now, legacy classes is over, and I want to show you arrays. Do you know? Do we have? Do you know that we have arrays collection? Do you know that? Do you know that or no? Yes, no. Did you use ever any sort method directly without any sorting, without using any for loops? Can you able to sort your array elements directly? Have you ever done in your any one of your program so far? In Python, okay. But in Java, what you have is, I'll just show you can use these shortcuts in whenever you are dealing with arrays. Whenever you are dealing with array program, you just do these shortcut methods which are available in arrays collection. Okay, so listen carefully. The first thing is actually maybe it may you may not use this frequently, but it is a very impressive method. Okay, what is that is, listen carefully. Read the comment line along with me. Java program to demonstrate arrays dot as list method. That is, as you look at the name of the method, what can you understand? What you can understand by looking at the method? That is, you can represent an array in terms of a list. You can represent an array in terms of an list. Suppose you just suppose we took an array that is 10, 20, 15, 22, and 35. The elements of the array are that. Okay, now I just want to represent this array in terms of list. List is a collection, no, as we already know. Yes or no? List is a collection. List is an interface. I just want to make this, I just want to convert, I just want to represent this array into list. Okay, so what we are doing is, list is equal to arrays dot as list of the array whichever we want to pass. The array whichever we want to make that as a list, that array I need to pass to this method. Okay, so what happens? So if I want to print the list, then we will be getting the elements in terms of list. All the list operations I can do in on this list. Suppose sometimes your application demands there should be a list, but you have an array with you. Then what will you do? You just convert, you just represent your array by using this method. Now on this list, you can do all your operations. All your operations means you can do modifications, etc., etc. But you can't do one thing. I'll tell you. Okay, I'll show you. So suppose if I say listed out, but what one thing you need to remember is, whatever the array I just represented as the list, they both are linked together. They are linked together. Linked together means, suppose if I change anything in the list, that change will be reflected in the array. Suppose if I change anything in the array, that change will also be automatically reflected in the list. Understood, no? If I change in the one, the reflections will be automatically represented in the other. Vice versa. Understood, everybody? Understood? So if just look at that, just look at the method. Suppose if I say list dot set of 1 comma 50, what does it mean? At index 1, I just want to replace the element at index 1 with 50. So what is your list right now? What is your list right now? Fast, everybody. 1050. No. Why 20 again, Anil? What I said, set. Set means it just replace the element at the index 1. That is 20 is replaced with 50. Index 1 means 20 only, no? At index 1, what is your element? 20 only, no? Yes or no, guys? Are you here? Guys, everybody has to reply, because once you are joining and you just keep that side and you are roaming around the world, it's not an encouraging thing, actually. Okay? Whoever knows, whoever understand this, you can reply, no? What is there? It's just a matter of 1 hour. Okay, right. So 10, 50, 15, 22, and 35. Now I am telling, based on my explanation, what do you think if I say array of 4 equal to 100? Then if I print the list, what is going to happen? Then if I print the list, what is going to happen? This statement, I am just asking the output of this statement. I just uncommented, no, Shravya. Shravya, I just uncommented this. Don't include this. Okay. Now tell me. Now tell me the output. 10, 50, 15, 22, 100. Because, very good. Very good, 70. Because what happened? I already told you both are interlinked. Both are interlinked. Both are based on their references. So what happens? What happens if I change the any element to the array, that reflection will also be there in list. So if I print, you'll be getting this answer. You'll be getting this answer. Okay, understood? I'm sorry. Now, okay, let me execute this first, so that after that I'll uncomment that, and I'll show you that execution. Okay, this is legacy classes. Now, what are you dealing with? Arrays. Okay. I'll close. See, I'll just open the program, then you can see. Same program, no, this one and that one, then I'll close one. Okay, now have a look at that. What are all the changes? Where are they? Okay, now have a look at that. Suppose if I set, if I call a method on list, set method, that at index 1, it is 50. Yes or no? It is 50. And if I modify, if I replace an element of index array of index 4, that is 35 is replaced with 100. Understood, no? Understood? Now I'll change one thing. That is, previously it is uncommented. Previously it is commented. Now I'll uncomment this. So what do you expect? What you can expect from this? If I add any element to the list, it will not allow. Okay, I'll show you. What happened? What error? What exception? It's not an error. What exception you got? unsupported operation. I am doing some of the unsupported operation on the list. So this add method is a unsupported operation in this context. What exactly is this list? Whatever the list I just got from this array is, it's a fixed size list. It's a fixed size list. I cannot add any element to that. I cannot add any element to that. Understood? Understood? No, I cannot change its size. I cannot change. But what I can do modifications just like this. I can do any modifications to the list, but I cannot add any extra elements to your list because it is a fixed size list. Whatever the list I am getting from this array, that would be a fixed size list. Understood, everyone? What is fixed size list? Understood or not? Yes or no? Right. Very good. Now, next one I just want to show what is that is. See, here are some of the very useful methods we have. Very useful methods we have in this arrays collection. I'll show you one by one. So there is an array. As usual, we have an array. And if I call a method, sort method on this array, arrays dot sort of this array, then what is going to happen? What is going to happen? What's the output? What can you expect? Array will be sorted. Yes or no? The array will be sorted automatically. Okay. And one more thing I just want to tell you. I just want to search a particular element. Now I just want to search. Okay. Yes, ascending order. Now I just want to search a particular element. Then what I am going to do? I'll call a method, binary search method, which is there in arrays collection. Binary search of which is taking two parameters, that is the array and the key. Whichever the key I want to search, that is going to be passed as a parameter along with the array. Understood? Understood? So what is going to be written? What is going to be written? If I say this, if I use this, what is going to be written? Index. Very good. It returns a particular index. At which index that 22 is there, that index will be written. Very good. It's 3. Yes, exactly. Very good. Next, suppose if I ask you, if the element is not there, in the array, then what it is going to return? -1. No. Key value not. -1. Okay, it will return -1. Very good. That's what. You just remember what, and you can use them. Suppose there is a requirement to sort an array, directly you can use this without using any for loops, etc. Okay. Suppose if you want to search, then you can use this. And the most beautiful method I want to introduce right now is, there is a toString method in arrays. In the arrays collection, you have a toString method. If I pass any array to this toString method, then it will print all the elements of an array. All the elements of an array. Understood? Actually, what we used to do every time, we used to iterate from 0 to less than array dot length. Yes or no? So we used to iterate each and every element in the array for loop to print all the elements. But instead of getting that headache, we can use directly toString method. Yes or no? So it will directly print all the elements of your array. Understood now? Everyone understood or not? Yeah, very good. Good. Just remember, these methods will be very useful actually. Okay, and then you can even copy your elements too. Suppose I'll give initially 10. You can, what you can do, you can copy your elements to to the another array. You can copy your elements of array 1 to array 2 also. Yes or no? So how can I do? I can even specify the size. I can even specify the size along with the copy of method. Okay, so that what it is going to do is I'll show you while the program is going while executing this program. Okay, understood? No, and also one more the copy of method, and one more method we have is equals method. We have one more method is equals method. What equals method compares? What equals method compares? What is there? Array 1 comma array 2. What it is going to compare? Whether both the arrays contains same elements or not. It checks the content. Okay, elements of the array. Exactly, very good. So whether the elements are same or not, then it will return true. Okay, otherwise it is false. Now, and one more method you have is fill method. Fill method, what it is going to do is, if there is an array 3, here there is an array 3, I want to fill all the elements with the 10. That is array 3, all the elements I want them as 10, not 1, 2, 5, 8, 3. Okay, then what I will do, I use the method fill method. Fill method which takes two parameters, the desired array and the number which you want to fill. Okay, understood? Again, I am using toString method to display the to display the elements. Okay, understood? Let me execute this once. Hmm. Have a look at this. Initially, the array 22 is found at index 3. Okay, very good. And the array is this. What is that? The result of toString method. Actually, this is the result of toString method. What is that? This one. Okay. Now what we are getting is there is a copy of method. Look at this copy of method, which is taking array and also the size, that is 10. So as I said 10, it will allocate you 10 slots in the array. It will allocate you 10 slots. But how many methods? How many elements I am copying actually? How many elements I am actually copying from array 1? Only 5 elements. So the remaining will be placed with 0. Okay, understood now? So now if I want to compare these two, equals method, equals of array 1 with array 2, are they equal right now? Are they equal both? No, they are not equal, so it returns false. Okay, now I'll tell you. Now the last one is fill. Fill method, fill all the elements of your array with whatever the desired value you want to fill with 10. Okay, now I'll change a little. That is, suppose if I give 5 only, then what happens? Then what happens? Let me execute once again. Now look at that. There are no more extra slots will be given to the array 2. Understood? Yes or no? Now, if I use the equals method, what is your output? Now, are they equal or not? They are equal, no? So, it is giving you true. Understood? So, we have discussed. Can you please list out quickly what are all the methods? Actually, these are the useful methods. Of course, there are some more methods, but we can use these methods in arrays collection. You can explore more. Okay. So, what are all the methods we have seen in the arrays collection? Can you please list out quickly within 1 minute? First one, sort method. Okay, right. Next, copy of. Very good. Next method, Okay, I'll wait. You have to type no. Yes, fill method. Fill, okay. Binary search method. Very good. Sort, binary search, toString, copy of, equals, fill. Exactly, Parmeshwar. Exactly. Very good. Excellent. Equals method. And one method you forgot. Everyone. We have seen one more method also, no, in the previous program, but nobody listed out that. What is that method in the previous program we have discussed? As list method. You have to say that also, no? Okay, this is that is also a one more method. So as list method. As list is after using set method. Did I use set method on arrays collection? No, right? List dot set. That is list dot set. I just use the set on list. But what I am asking, in arrays collection, what are all the methods we have seen right now? Okay, okay, it's okay. I know that you remember all these things, right? Fine. So hope you remember all these things, right? After converting that array to list, what type of list you will be getting? ఎలాంటి లిస్ట్ మీకు వస్తుంది? Did you get my question? After representing array to a list, what type of list you are getting? That is fixed size list you are getting. Very good, 70. Fixed size list you are getting. That you need to remember. You cannot add any more elements to your list. Okay, understood. Now we are going to discuss utility classes. The last concept in the unit 4. The last one. Okay. So with this we can wind up unit 4. Okay. Tomorrow we will have a full hands-on session of programs. Okay. Tomorrow we will have, because you need to practice more programs. So tomorrow afternoon, as okay, you are doing very less programs as every day. So I want to concentrate more tasks. Yeah, I will give more tasks tomorrow. Okay, full session programs. Okay, and Saturday we will go with unitary if possible, with exception handling. Okay, we can start exception handling. The introduction session is very important, because exception handling is much difficult. Not difficult. Much different from your C++ exception handling. Of course, you have exception handling in C++, but both are different. Here in Java and in C++, they are different. So don't miss the class on Saturday. That doesn't mean you can miss the class on Friday. Okay? Okay, so be regular to the class. Be regular to the class so that you can learn more. Okay, shall we start? Utility classes. Let me open the PPT first so that you can, after this description, that is introduction, we can go with the programs. Okay. So what are the utility classes we have here? They're also simple. Don't worry. They are simple classes. Okay. Just remember as it is. String tokenizer. String tokenizer, a class we have, and bit set class we have, date class we have, calendar class we have, and the random, formatter, scanner. Among all these classes, what class is more familiar to us? Scanner, because we are using that scanner every day mostly. Okay, if you do programs daily. Okay, then string tokenizer. What is string tokenizer is, if you just have a look at this picture first. Just have a look at the picture first and then tell me what did you understand from that. What a string tokenizer will do. Just a second, guys. Just a second. Yeah. Okay. 1 second. You just analyze this slide. Now, yeah. Okay. Hope you hope you can understand. Okay. By looking at the picture itself. What is that? Suppose if I give a string to the string tokenizer, what that string tokenizer is going to do is it splits the string. It splits the string into tokens. Okay, in different tokens. Okay, that is what string tokenizer will do. Utility classes are the utilities. Whatever the regular utilities we are going to use in our Java programming language. Okay, that's what the one of the utility class is, string tokenizer. So string token class used to creating tokens. Okay, and it splits into small parts. They are tokens. And next one, you have three constructors. We have three constructors in string tokenizer. Just the first one is the string tokenizer is taking the string as a parameter. String as a parameter. So I can pass a string as a parameter to the first constructor. And the second one is along with the string, I can even pass the delimiter. Delimiter. What is delimiter? What is delimiter? Even you can see split method in string. Exactly. What are they? Okay, space, comma, colon, etc. Whichever the thing which I can use in between the string, between the string to separate the words of your string. Okay, that is what the delimiter. Okay. Yes. Then what I want to ask actually. Okay, fine. I want to ask you one question that did you use split method of your string class? Split method of string class? Split method. Do we have split in strings? Yes or no? We have split method, no? Then split method will take what are all the parameters? Can you please tell me? Only delimiter? Yes. Okay, so it is taking delimiter as it is like that. We have even string tokenizer also can take a string along with the delimiter. Okay, so a creates a string tokenizer with specified string and a delimiter. And read the third constructor. What is that? It is taking three parameters. First one is the string, and the second parameter is the delimiter, and the third one is the boolean value, and the third one is the boolean value. Okay, understood now? And what that boolean value is going to do, just read this, and we will see the output in the program, and we will see what is going to happen while executing our program. Okay, just have a read to this statement. Did you study? Did you study? Yes or no? Completed? Yes? Okay, fine. Then I'll ask you later. Okay? Mm. Now, the methods of the string tokenizer are has more tokens, next token, I can even count the tokens, and the next element and has more elements we have. Okay, these are the methods we have in the string tokenizer. And the next one is bit set. Bit set. Okay, what is this bit set? Bit set is generally, suppose uh, think, imagine just like an array. Okay, you just imagine there is an array, and the array contains bits. Okay, an array of bits. Bit set is an array of bits which are represented by the boolean values. The bits are of boolean values. Okay, what are all the boolean values generally we have? True or false? Yes or no? So by default, the bit set, the array of bits will contain by default the false values. Okay, false. The value of the bit set are by default false. Okay, that's what. So imagine that bit set is like an array of bits which are of initially they are false. Okay, that's what. And please do remember, and what it is a bit confusing, but still concentrate on this. Okay, the size of the array is flexible and can grow, accommodate additional bit as needed. The size of the array is flexible. Whenever we want to accommodate the additional bit, that then your size will be flexibly increased. Okay, that's what. And as it is an array, the index is always starts with 0. Okay, there is an indexing, so it always starts with 0. And you have two types of constructors, bit set, and the second one is, first one is the default constructor, and the second one is the parameters constructor, which takes the size of the size of your bit set. Okay, understood? Right. Next, these are the methods of the bit set. These are the different methods we have in bit set. Okay, set method, get method, is empty, size, length, clear. Okay, and or XOR methods. These are the set of methods we have in bit set, and we will see how we have to use that. Okay, we have to use how we have to use. We will see. And next one is random class. Next one is the random class. And these are, what is random class? Did you use random anytime in your programs? Did you use anytime random? Okay. Yes, random numbers. Did you use ever? To generate any random number, did you use anything? Any random method in your programming? Yes? Okay. Then random class is used to generate a okay, in Python. Well, fine, very fine. So random class is used to generate a stream of pseudo random numbers. That is, we can able to generate a stream of pseudo random numbers in random use by using random class. Okay, and we have a constructor that is I can even we have a constructor that is random of. This creates a new random number generator. It whenever the constructor we are using, it will give you a random number generator. Okay, right? And these are the methods we have in the random class. What are the methods we have? Next method we have next boolean, next byte, next double, next float, next int, next long, next bytes, which takes the array as the parameter. Okay, so these are the methods we have, but we will do that, we will use those methods in our programs next. Okay, and you have a date class. Suppose if you want to generate the current date. Okay, current date of your current date, then you can go with the date class. Okay, in that you have a method, get instance method. Get instance method will give you the whole data of the current data. Okay, that is how many hours it is having, I'll show you through the program. Okay, is that okay? Fine. Okay, date class represent a specific instant in time with millisecond precision. Okay, so we will see while discussing with the program. And calendar class. Suppose if you want to represent your months, years, hours, etc., so then you can go with the calendar class. And you have a guess, even you have a get instance method in this calendar class, which gives you the instance of the calendar, current calendar, day, month, year, etc. Okay, you can read this. You can read this. This method is used with the calendar object to get the instance of calendar according to the current time zone set by Java runtime environment. The Java runtime environment will set you the current time zone. So based on the current time zone, it will give you an instance of calendar. Understood everyone? The whole sentence? Yes or no? Okay. And it is directly implements the object class. It is directly from the object class. Okay, it inherits object class. That is calendar class I am talking. It inherits from the object class and implements comparable interface. Okay, and this is the formatter class. Okay, what is formatter class? Suppose if you want to design your output, suppose if you want to design your output in a specified manner, in a required manner, then you can go with the formatter class. You can even have formatting in C++. No, you just have formatting in C++, right? I think it's in unit 4, right? Just like that. Suppose if you want to design your output, then you can go with the formatter class in Java. In Java, you have to choose this. Okay. Formatter is a built-in class in Java. Use it to lay out justification and alignment, common formats for numeric, strings, date and time, etc. and etc. Okay. And which is in util package. And it is a final class. Formatter is a final class, so that you cannot extend it to further any more classes. Okay, and this is the final class in the utility classes, that is scanner class. You are well aware of that. Okay. Okay, yeah, what are all the methods are there in scanner class also, you know very well, I hope so. Then you can see, if you want to refer once again, that is next int method, we have next byte, next short, next line, next double, next float, next boolean. Okay, we have these many methods. What is the next method is used for? Next method is used for to take a string. Okay, and the next line, a word, very good, a word or a character, etc. Very good. Next line, a complete sentence we can read from the user. Okay, I hope you know what are all these. Next int, you know, next byte, next short, okay, double, float, boolean, etc. And suppose to get a single character from the scanner, what you will do? There is no special method to get a single character, no? Actually, suppose, of course, you can give one single character in terms of a string, but a character can be taken from the string. How will you do that? You can read, you can invoke next method. On that method, you can do caret of 0. Yes or no? Yes or no? Did you understand this syntax? Next method will read the string from the user. Okay. On that string, I can call the caret method. Okay. On that string, you can call the caret method. Understood now? Understood everyone? So that this is how you can read any character from the string. That's what, guys. Right? So with this, the introduction is over, and shall we look at the programs right now? And I just uploaded all these things. Did you use that? Are you practicing every day? I just uploaded the previous things, that is legacy classes, etc. Are you using? Are you practicing every day? Did you download at least? Did you keep one side, aside, any folder of your system? Did you kept any place for that? Yeah? Okay. Just do that. Just give just half an hour, at least half an hour or 40 minutes. It doesn't mean that you couldn't spend, you need not spend more than that. Okay? You can spend more than that, but at least minimum. Okay? Minimum per day, at least 30 to 40 minutes you need to spend on Java. Next, string tokenizer, we just discussed it in the PPT. No, now I'll tell you. These are the how many constructors we have seen in the string tokenizer. How many constructors we have seen? 3. Very good. 3 constructors we have seen. Only 3 students are here. Only 3 or 4 students, 5 students, 6 students. What about the rest of the people? Rohit, are you here? 6D. Then Rohit, why are you silent today? Huh? Okay. Anyhow, string tokenizer, we are going to see 3 constructors today. 3 constructors. Okay. What type of constructor is this? The first constructor. The first constructor, no? That is the constructor which is taking the string as the parameter. String as the parameter. Okay. So I already told you what are all the methods we have. What are all the methods we have in the string tokenizer? Has more tokens and next token. Has more tokens, next token. So I can call on the string tokenizer. This has more tokens. If I have more tokens, I can even traverse each token at each time. Okay, at each iteration, I can able to traverse one token per iteration. Yes or no? So that I can able to print that. At each time, what it is going to return? After tokenization, what is going to be returned? What is going to be returned? Next token will return what? Next token method will return what? String only. Very good, 6J. Excellent. Right? String only. Okay. So that string will be returned to yes. And now I am printing that. So whenever until I have the tokens, I used to iterate. Once don't have any tokens, this will be false. This condition will be false. Then I'll comes out of this loop. Okay, fine. And the second constructor, look at the second. Is it the second constructor? What is the second constructor? What type of parameters it is taking? Can you please type quickly? String and the delimiter. Yes or no? Very good. From here to here, this is a string. From here to here, this is a string. And the string is separated with what type of delimiter? The string is separated with what type of delimiter? Colon. So that whatever the delimiter, the string is separated. Just a second, guys. Just a second. Okay. Whatever the string, whatever the delimiter, I just use it to I just use it to separate the string. That delimiter I am passing here. Okay. So based on this delimiter, the string is tokenized. From here to here, one string, one token. From here to here, one token. And from here to here, can you able to see from where to where I am highlighting? Yes or no? Right? Understood? Right. Very good. Now I am iterating. This story is same. This story is same for all. Okay, so that I am not repeating once again. And the third one is, what type of constructor is this? Third constructor. Okay, what parameters it is taking? From here to here it is What it is? It is a string and the delimiter and the boolean value. Okay. Okay, and the boolean value. Okay, right. And what I am doing is, and one more thing, I can even use the method count tokens. I can even count the tokens. Okay, you can use the count tokens method so that you can you can get the value how many tokens in all you can split. Okay, right. And again has more tokens. Sorry, has more elements and next elements. Shall we execute this? I need to close this because I need to set the path once again. Mm, okay. Now what is that? Hmm. See, initially, hello students. Hello students, welcome to Java class. Everything is a everything from here to here. Everything is a token. Everything is splitted. The entire string is splitted to what is that? Tokens. Okay. Next time, by using the constructor 2, actually based on this delimiter, how the complete string is converted to splitted into tokens. Initially, it is Java, and then from space to code. Yes or no? And from the after that along with the space it is taking that as a token. Understood now? Yes or no, everyone? Did you understand why we are getting like this? Right. Next time by using the third constructor, as now I'll tell you, now I'll ask you the question that based on this boolean value, whichever the boolean value I am passing to the third constructor, how this is happened? What happened? What happened actually? That is, even the delimiter also taken as treated as token. Okay, here actually the delimiters are underscore and colon. So both are underscore is a token and also colon is a token. So that once we are using true, we are going to get the even token delimiters also be treated as token. So that is why Java again again we are getting that is underscore colon and then along with the space code underscore again colon. So understood now, everyone? And the number of tokens are? And the number of tokens are 8. Okay, number of tokens are 8. Understood now, everyone? Did everyone understood this thing? And now I'll change the value. Now tell me. Now tell me. I just changed that boolean value to false. Then what is going to happen? Now how the delimiter is going to behave? Hope you already studied in the PPT, no? So can you please tell me how the delimiter is going to be behave right now? Yes. Very good. The delimiter is not treated as tokens. Yes, the delimiter is not treated as tokens. It is only to use to split the string. The delimiter only to be used to split the string. That is how we can able to see that. Okay. So hope you understood all the three constructors. Everyone understood now? Yes or no? Right. Very good. Next one. Next one. Hmm. Bit set. Okay. What is bit set? Bit set is already I told you know what is bit set. Can you please tell me quickly what is bit set? Array of bit set is an array of bits. Bits are in terms of Boolean values. Exactly. Very good. Right. Ah, very good. That's it. Array of bits with Boolean values. Right. And bit set, how many bit sets I just created here? How many bit sets I just created? Two bit sets. Now I am just displaying the size of the bit set first and the length of the bit set. Size of the bit set and first bit set. I'm talking about the first. Okay, size and length and how it is going to be get. You just observe later. Okay, right. What is three? What is three? Jahnavi, what is three? Number of bit sets? Two only, no? Two only, right? Only two. Only two. Okay. Now there is a method set method to already I just asked. Yeah. Okay. Okay. It's okay. So I just already asked you to imagine there is a complete there is an array which already set to false. All the elements are false. Initially false. Okay. Just imagine like that. Now there is a method set method which sets the element which sets the index 0, which sets the value at index 0. Okay, already told you that it the index starts with 0. Okay, index ఎప్పుడు కూడా 0 తోనే స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది. Yes or no? So as I said, set set the value at index 1, set the value at index 2, set the value at index 4. Okay, they are set to from false to true, from false to true. Okay, now can you please tell me, now I am displaying the bit set. Now what is the size and what is the length? What is the size and what is the length? You need to have a clear idea. Okay, after execution you just tell me, you just analyze and tell me. Okay, now I'm just clearing this. I'm just clearing the output. Now again, what I am doing is after clearing, after clearing, how can I do? I'm just printing the bit set. After clearing the output, I'm just printing the bit set. Okay, and then again I'm checking. Again I'm checking the size of the bit set and also the length of the bit set. Okay, now from here to here, I'll just comment. Okay. Shall we have a look at these statements first? These statements first. What is this program? I'll make a little more longer so that you'll understand the. Guys, haven't I just clearly understand that? First thing is I just printed the size. Okay, Have a look at that. The size is 64. By default, the initial size of bit set is 64. Okay. And then the length of the bit set is, it is 0 because I did not add any element to the bit set right now. Okay. Understood now? Why the size of the length is 0? Initially it is 64. That is, by default the size is 64, but the length is 0 because I did not add any one single element so far. Now, after setting 0th index, first index, second index, fourth, what happened? I just printed the bit set. Okay. I just printed the bit set. After that, I'm getting 0, 1, 2, 4. Okay. Now, again, I'm checking the size. Again, I am checking the size. What is the size? 64 only. Yes or no? The size is 64 only. And the length, but the length is 5. Can you please tell me how the length is 5? How the length is 5? Guys, are you with me? How the length is 5? Because as I set the bits from 0th index to 4th index, the highest index it is going to consider. Okay, the highest index that is going to be considered. So from 0 to 4, how many elements you will be getting? 5, no? Very good, Shavya. So from 0 to 4, you are treating that as 5 elements. So the length of the bit set is 5. Okay, understood everyone? Everyone, I am asking everyone. Okay, right? Now, after clearing this bit set, what I am getting? I am getting a null set. I'm just clearing the trues again to false. Then I am getting null. Okay, the bit set is null. Understood or not, everyone? Now I'll uncomment this. Yeah, fine. Okay. Now have a look at these things from here to here. From here to here. If I add from here to here, that is from set of 4 to set of 30, what is going to happen? What is the size of the bit set? What is the length of the bit set? Quickly. Size of the bit set. Very good, very good. Size of the bit set is 64 and the length of the bit set is 31 because from 0 to 30, that is 31 elements. So that's what. Very good. Next I'll say, I will ask another guy on my choice. Okay. Who are there? Who is 65? Who is 65? 65. Is there anyone 65 here? Or 68? Not in class. Okay, at least 65 is not in class. Okay, let me check the participants once. Yeah, 6F. 6F is here. 68 also. Okay. 6F. Sharon, Abhishek. Yeah. Oh, it's okay, Mr. 68. Then can you please tell me, or are you Mr. or Miss? Can you please tell me what if I do only 68 has to answer this question. I just set the bits from here to here. Now can you please tell me, Mr. 68, what is the size of the what is the size what is the at least length of the bit set? I'll tell you the size later. What is the length of the bit set? Very good. 101. Why it is 101? Why it is 101? Why it is 101? Only 100 I just said no. Till 100 no. 0 plus 100. Very good. That's it. Now the size would be as I set the bit 100th bit. What is going to happen is the initial size is what? The initial size is 64. No. So it would be doubled. The size would be doubled because 100 is exceeded the limit. 100 exceeded the limit of 64. So the size would be doubled. So what would be your size right now? 128. Exactly. Super. That's it. And I am just specifying that it is true. That's also fine. Now, I'll just uncomment and I'll just show you the execution right now. And what is this? Get of 100. Get of 100. What value will be getting? Get of 100. What value will be getting? What is the value is associated at the index 100? True. Very good. And what is the value of get of 98? Can you imagine? False. Yes or no? It's false because in the bit set, the 98 bit I did not set it. Yes or no? I did not touch that. So that it is false again. I am just printing the bit set here. And if it is empty, is empty? Is it empty? Is it empty? No. Very good. And now I'm just printing size and the length. Okay. Now have a look at this. The size and the length is 0 and the value at the index is, very good. The value at the index 100 is true and the value at the index 98 is false. Now, now if I am trying to print, okay, why it is not set? Okay, I'm sorry, I did not save that. I'm sorry. Okay, let me execute once again, please. See, now check the BS2. Actually, the elements 1, 2, 3, 4 are setted. 5, 6, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and also next one is from 22, 28 means from range 22 to 28 minus 1, that is 27. Okay, 22 to 27, that is 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Just before the upper limit will be added to your will be set the bits will be setted. Understood? No, I can even specify the range and 100 comma true, and that is 100 is also added, 100 the bit also setted. But what happened to this 12? Is it there? False. As it is false, it is not, the bit is not changed. So that if I print the bit set 2 also, the 12 is not there. Yes or no? Right? Understood everyone how this output, how did we get this output? Yes? Very good. Now, is empty? Is it empty? No, we have many. It is not empty. Now the size is 128. Why it is 128? Everybody understood, no? Because the 100 is exceeded the limit of the default limit of 64. So it got doubled. That is 128. And the size is very good. Exactly. 121. Now the length is 101, sorry, 101. Right. So shall we stop? Because actually I want to complete, but shall we continue or stop? Shall we go with the programs? What do you say, guys? Because continue. Wow. Good. Good. Very good. Yeah. See this. Very good. Yeah, look at this, guys. Look at this. This is one more program related to bitset. Okay, this is one more program, that is the AND or XOR. AND or XOR operations. We are going to look at this. Okay, here what I'm doing is, how many bitsets I just created? Quickly, you have to be with me. You have to concentrate. Then we will finish up this soon. Okay, we will wind up this session today. 2 bitsets. And if you consider this for loop, what are the elements is going to be setted in bit set 1? What are the elements? All even numbers. Very good. All even numbers. And what is there in bit set 2? What are the elements in bit set 2? Bit set 2 లో ఎలాంటి ఎలిమెంట్స్ సెట్ చేస్తున్నాం? Except all the elements except multiples of 5. Very good. Very good. All the elements except multiples of 5. Very good. That is not equal to. If you clearly observe, there is not equal to. That is, I am accepting the multiples of 5 in bit set 2. Okay. Now I am printing the bit set 1, and now again I am printing the bit set 2. Now I am doing AND operation here. AND. This is not logical AND. Okay. This is AND means it just behaves like intersection of bit set 1 and bit set 2. That result will be appended to bit set 2. Understood? First one, half of. Okay. Understood? No, after intersection the result will be, everybody knows what is intersection, right? Yes or no? The common elements of both the bit sets, that result will be added to bit set 2. Okay, and then I am doing union of bit set 1, bit set 2, union bit set 1. Okay, union, already you know that OR will behave in terms of union operation. That is, the elements will be there in bit set 2, and apart from that, that is the unique elements of bit set 1 will be added to bit set 2. That is what union. And XOR is union minus intersection. Union minus intersection will be appended to your bit set 2. What are all the union result I am getting? That minus this. Yes or no? Right? Shall I execute so that with the help of output we can discuss more? Now have a look at this, guys. First one is the result of what? It's not a result. Actually, the initial values of bit set 1, and these are the initial values of bit set 2. Where, yes or no? And AND operation. AND operation is what type of operation? Bit set 2 dot end of bit set 1. Common elements. Very good. So in both the sets, the common elements are even numbers only, no? Right? Very good. Next, OR means union. OR means union. So, understood this union operation? Did you understand? That is, apart from the bit set 2 values, what are all the unique elements I have? That is 0 and 10 from the bit set 2 will be added. Understood? No? From bit set 1 is added. I'm sorry. Bit set 1 is added. Understood? 0 and 10 are from bit set 1. Understood or not? Right? Okay? Yeah. Fine. Now, after this, what I'm getting? If you clearly observe the XOR operation, union minus intersection. What this list minus? Sorry, that's what, no? Bit set 2 XOR bit set 1. That is union of bit set 2 union. Where is the union? Union is OR. Okay. Minus this. Okay. Bit set to this minus this. That is what we are getting. We are getting null values. We are not even getting any other values. Let me check once again that. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, even I am thinking that. Let me check once again. I suppose this is actually bit set to union B1, okay, and bit set to intersection B1, that is this minus this. Guys, just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. I hope I did not. Now, can you please tell me, is it union minus union minus? Yes, 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 exactly, Shravya. That's what. Exactly. That's why we are getting null. Actually, it's my thing. Let me change this. Actually, this is intersection minus union. It is. It's not union minus intersection. Let me change this. Exactly. XOR will behave. Actually, even I thought it's with that. That is intersection minus union. It's not union minus intersection. If it is union minus intersection, what we will be getting exactly as we expected? What we will be getting? What we will be getting? I'll execute once again so that you'll understand clearly. Guys, is this correct right now? Is this right? That is, are you with me, everyone? Let me check once again. Let us discuss once again that suppose if it is, what is intersection here? What is the what is the intersection result? The first one, no? This is what intersection. This minus this. What you are getting? Null. Yes or no? So bit set 2, that is intersection minus union only we are getting null. Otherwise, we used to get 10 0 comma 10. Yes or no? Yes or no? Right? Let me check once again this, and I'll confirm this. I'll confirm once again this later. Okay? Is that fine? Okay? Yes or no? Right? Right. Very good. Next one. Next one. What is the next one is random. Yes or no? What is the random? What is random? Random is to generate random values. To generate the random values. Random values. There are some of the methods. I just shown in PPT some of the methods. Next Boolean method. Next Boolean method will return the options. What are the options in Boolean? What are the options we have? True or false? So randomly it will give true, randomly it will give false. Okay? Next time, next double will give you the range of the next double is 0 to 1. 0.0 to 1.0. So from this range, any value will be given. Any value will be given to, will be generated through next double method. Understood? And the next float method, what it is going to do is, it is also same. From range 0.0 to 0.1, it is going to give you the next float method. But the precision is different. Precision of double is different. Precision of float is different. I'll show you through execution. Okay, guys, are you able to follow me? Yes. And the next int will give you the random digit which is there in integer, the maximum integer range. Maximum integer range. Any one of the value is going to be given. Understood? No? Understood, everyone? Okay. Now, and this generally we use this method, random dot next int of 10. Random dot next int of 10. What does it mean is, that is in the range of 10, from 0 to 10, one number will be given. One random number will be generated. Okay, if you pass any number, suppose if you give any 100, from 0 to 100, one of the random number will be generated. Understood? No? Yes, everyone? I'll show you through execution. Okay? And next one. There is this is somewhat a different method actually. Next bytes method will take bytes as a parameter. Okay? Listen carefully. Next bytes method will take bytes as a parameter. Fine. But actually, before the statement, bytes is an array of size 10. It's an empty array. It's an array of bytes, empty array of bytes. Understood? No? It's an empty array of type bytes. Understood, everyone? Did everybody understood this? Now, I am passing that empty array to the next bytes method. As I pass that empty bytes array to next bytes method, this method, next bytes method, will fill that empty bytes, random bytes, with the random bytes. Understood what I am saying? Understood what I am saying? Right? Right. Okay. See. And random bytes, I am just how can I see that array of bytes? By using this. I am just iterating through for loop. Yes or no? Each byte I am going to iterating. Okay, let me execute this first quickly. Okay, and 4, right? See, I'll show you the method and the output. Next boolean is false. Okay, I'll just execute once again. Initially it is false, yes or no? If you look at this, false. Next boolean result. Okay, let me execute once again so that you'll understand. Next time it is true, yes or no? Randomly it is generating among its options, in between the two options, true or false, yes or no? Are you following me? Right? So the double value is from 0.02, from 0.0 to 1.0. That is this much precision this is having. And the next float is from 0.0 to 1.0, that is 0.3 something, but the precision is different, no? The precision is high for the double, high for the double. And the next int value is, even you can get the negative value within the range of the integer. Okay, within the range of the integer you will be getting the even negative value also. Okay, but but if you use next int of 10, next int of 10, what you will be getting? From 0 to 10, one random number will be generated. Previously what number we got? 5. Okay, previously what numbers? Hope you can understand how it is generating, yes or no? And the random bytes are, these are the 10 bytes we got randomly. Randomly, these are the bytes within the byte range, that is 128 it seems. Okay, so within that range we are getting these bytes. Understood everybody? Everyone? Right, very good, very good. Right. Okay. Guys, it's already time is we have only 5 minutes. So shall we stop this, because we need to discuss the task today, no? Shall I stop? We have 4 more programs, so probably not an issue. We will discuss on tomorrow's class, in tomorrow's class. Okay? Is that okay? Yes or no? Right. Guys, one program you have is sentence reverse. Sentence reverse. Okay, sentence reverse is, there is a you need to listen carefully. What I am reading, what I am telling, just listen carefully. Okay. Okay, just hold on. Listen first. You need to read one sentence from the user. So what method you will use? One complete sentence from the user. What you will use? Next line method. Next line. Not read line. Read line is a method in buffer readers. Okay. Next line method. So actually you need to reverse the sentence. Yes or no? Suppose there is a sentence like, hello students, how are you? And you need to reverse, you are how, like that. Okay. So what you need to do is, you need to split the string. Understood now? ఏ స్ట్రింగ్ అయితే మీరు యూజర్ నుంచి తీసుకుంటారో, you need to split the string. For that reason, what method you need to use? What method you need to use? Split method. Okay, split method of string. Okay, on string you can call split method based on the, what you need to pass to the split method? Everybody please reply. అరే, split method కి ఏం పాస్ చేస్తారమ్మా? Delimiter. Delimiter you will pass, no? Based on the delimiter, space, suppose space, hello students, that is, I'm giving the delimiter only space. Based on the space, you will split the string. So hello students, how are you, these are the 5 words will be returned into a string array. ఇప్పుడు మీకు ఏమొస్తుంది, ఒక స్ట్రింగ్ అరే వస్తుంది. ఈచ్ స్ట్రింగ్ అరే ఎలిమెంట్ ఇస్ హలో స్టూడెంట్స్ హౌ ఆర్ యూ. ఓకే, నౌ వాట్ యూ నీడ్ టు డూ ఇస్ యూజింగ్ స్టాక్, you need to push all the elements to the stack. Okay, you need to traverse all the array in the for loop. You need to push each and every element and you can pop out the all the elements, then you will get in a reverse order. No, understood or not what I am telling? Did you understand my story? You need to push the element first and then until it is not empty, then you need to, while the stack is not empty, you need to pop off all the elements. Keep popping. Yes, exactly. What is the condition? Not stack dot empty. Is empty or empty? You just check it out. You just explore. Okay, understood now? That is what the first program. And the second program is, read this carefully. This is a quite little tricky actually. Write a Java program to find a string from the sentence which has highest vowel count and print the word along with its vowel count. Okay, that is, you need to read a string from the user. Very good. You need to split it and you need to add each and every word to the priority queue, and the priority queue will prioritize your words in such a way that ఎలా చేయాలట, ఎలా ప్రయారిటీ ఇవ్వాలట, ఏ వర్డ్ కైతే మోర్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ వోవెల్ కౌంట్ ఉంటుందో దట్ వుడ్ బి యువర్ ఫస్ట్, దట్ వుడ్ బి రిట్రీవ్డ్, దట్ వుడ్ బి pulled off. Yes or no? Understood everyone what I am saying? Understood or not? ఎస్ ఆర్ నో? సో ఈ స్ట్రింగ్ ని మీరు స్ప్లిట్ చేయాలి, స్ప్లిట్ చేసి ఈచ్ ఎలిమెంట్ ని మీరు ప్రయారిటీ కీలోకి యాడ్ చేయాలి. అయితే యాడ్ చేసేటప్పుడు మీరు ఎలాంటి కంపారిజన్ చేయాలి? వాట్ కంపారిటర్ యూనిట్ టు యూజ్? వోవెల్ కౌంట్. అయితే ఈ వోవెల్ కౌంట్ అనేది స్ట్రింగ్ మీద డైరెక్ట్ గా నేను ఇవ్వగలనా? కెన్ ఐ గివ్ డైరెక్ట్లీ? కెన్ ఐ సే జస్ట్ లైక్ స్ట్రింగ్ డాట్ లెంత్, స్ట్రింగ్ డాట్ లెంత్ అన్నట్టు నేను వోవెల్ కౌంట్ ఇవ్వవచ్చా? స్ట్రింగ్ 1 డాట్ వోవెల్ కౌంట్, కెన్ ఐ సే? No, I cannot. Yes or no? So for that reason, what you have to do, you have to build a logic for the vowel count. Vowel count కోసం ఒక లాజిక్ ని మీరు, ఒక మెథడ్ ని you have to write. One method you have to write. Vowel count ఎలా చేయాలో మీకు తెలుసు కదా? Everybody knows that. That vowel count, look at that. From here to here, this is counting the vowels of each string. Okay? Understood? I'm passing each string. I'll show you how, from where I am passing. In the compare method, this is the main method for our comparator. Yes or no? In the compare method, I just pass, it is comparing string 1 and string 2. Yes or no? As usual, two parameters. Get the vowel count of string 1. Yes or no? And get the vowel count of string 2. That is how, what it is comparing in this. It is comparing two strings of, in terms of their not string length. Which count? Which count, Jagadish? ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఏం కౌంట్ వస్తుంది మనకి? ఈ మెథడ్ నుంచి ఏం కౌంట్ వస్తుంది మనకి? ఓవెల్ కౌంట్ వస్తుంది. ఎస్ ఆర్ నో? బేస్డ్ ఆన్ ద, ఇక్కడ మనం మెథడ్ ని కాల్ చేసినాం అంటే ఆ వాల్యూ ఇక్కడ రిటర్న్ అవుతుందనే కదా, ఈ వాల్యూ ఇక్కడ రిటర్న్ అవుతుంది కదా. ఎస్ ఆర్ నో? అండ్ S1 కి రిటర్న్ అయిన ఈ వాల్యూ లెస్ దాన్ S2 కి రిటర్న్ అయిన ఈ వాల్యూ వోవెల్ కౌంట్. ఐఎమ్ కంపేరింగ్ దీస్ టూ. అండర్స్టూడ్ ఆర్ నాట్? ఎస్ ఆర్ నో? అండ్ this should be in decreasing order or increasing order. మీరు ఇప్పుడు డిక్రీజింగ్ ఆర్డర్ లో ఉంచాలా, ఇంక్రీజింగ్ ఆర్డర్ లో ఉంచాలా ప్రయారిటీ క్యూని? ఓవెల్ కౌంట్ డిక్రీజింగ్ ఆర్డర్ లో ఉండాలా, ఇంక్రీజింగ్ ఆర్డర్ లో ఉండాలా? బేస్డ్ ఆన్ దట్ ఓవెల్ కౌంట్, హౌ యూ హ్యావ్ టు అరేంజ్ యువర్ వర్డ్స్. ఇంక్రీజింగ్ ఆర్డర్ అయితే జగదీష్ ఇనీషియల్ గా ఏం ఎలిమెంట్ ఉంటుంది? ఏదైతే తక్కువ ఎలిమెంట్స్ ఉంటాయో, ఐ మీన్ ఇంక్రీజింగ్ ఆర్డర్ మీన్స్ అసెండింగ్ ఆర్డర్ యూ టోల్డ్ నో. అసెండింగ్ ఆర్డర్ మీన్స్ ఫ్రమ్ బిగ్గెస్ట్ టు స్మాల్. బిగ్గెస్ట్ టు స్మాల్ అన్నప్పుడు ఫస్ట్లో ఏముంది? సారీ, అసెండింగ్ ఆర్డర్ మీన్స్ స్మాలెస్ట్ టు బిగ్గెస్ట్. ఫస్ట్ ఎలిమెంట్ ఏముంటుంది? స్మాలెస్ట్ అంటే ఏ వర్డ్లో అయితే తక్కువ వోవెల్ కౌంట్ ఉంటుందో అది ఉంటుంది. సో ఈజ్ ఇట్ రిక్వైర్డ్? ఈజ్ ఇట్ దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ వీ వాంట్? No. Yes or no? We want in decrement order, decreasing order, so that the first element would be the word which is having the highest vowel count. Avuna kada? Yes or no? So -1 దేనికి ఇవ్వాలి? Yes. -1 దేనికి ఇవ్వాలి? -1 for which we want to give? We have to give -1 for greater than symbol. Yes, exactly, Jagadish. Greater than, that is first vowel count is greater than second, then you have to give -1. That is what the order you want. That is, yes or no? Decreasing order. Okay, so and I'll show you this part also, because see, I'm just splitting the string. I'm just giving the my comparator logic. I'm passing my comparator logic to the priority queue. Look at this very carefully. And I'm iterating the string array. That is what we have to do, no? String array lo unna prati word ni I have to add to the priority queue. Yes or no? And this priority has to follow the my comparator logic, whichever I just used in the my comparator logic from here to here. Understood? And I need to poll first. What it is going to give you? I'm just getting a count. I'm just getting a word. Okay, string వస్తుంది. Yes or no? Poll చేసినప్పుడు after arranging, I'll be getting one word. I need to pass that string to the get count method, get vowel count method, so that this vowel count method will take that string each time. Understood or not? Yes or no? Yes or no? And one more thing, guys, this vowel count method, on which object I am calling? On which object I am calling? My comparator, because this vowel count is the method of which class? My comparator class. Yes or no? My comparator class. So each time based on every string undergoes that logic. Every string, whenever I am assigning, whenever I am doing. So every time that string undergoes that logic, so that based on the vowel count, it is going to be arranged. Okay. On my comparator, I am calling this method by passing that method, the string. Okay. So that whatever the maximum count string is going to be retrieved. Yes or no? That maximum count is going to be retrieved. Right? Right? So that maximum count I am going to display like this. This is how you need to display. This is how you should have your output. So please give, what you need to give is all the small letters. Otherwise, you have to provide logic for the even capital letters also here. Understood now? Yes? Fine. Okay, right. So hope you understand. Let us complete. Do you have any classes in the afternoon? Do you have any classes in the afternoon? Till what time you have? Till what time you have? After 11, you don't have any class? After 1, I'm sorry. After 11? After 1. I'm closing. Don't worry, I'm closing. Okay, okay, already 11, no? I'm closing the session, guys. Okay. I'll keep the program still there for